What's up, guys? Today we'll be talking about some of the customizations I have on my 29-gallon BioCube. Uh, when I downsized from a 90-gallon to a 29-gallon, uh, I brought the rocks over, and one of the things that I thought I was gonna have an issue with was the amount of water. I had a lot more rock than I do now because I just recently broke this tank into two tanks. I have another 10-gallon upstairs, but the more rocks you have, the less water you have. The less water you have, the more, the fish waste will affect the water. As far and also food waste as well. Any kind of little changes will affect dramatically in the water quality. So what I wanted to do to prevent that was, or to help that, was add a sump to the aquarium. Now most sumps are giant, big, bulky, pain in the butt. I did a lot of research and I came up with a sump that was all included. Kind of looked almost like the BioCube. Everything is neat, tucked in, not messy, and that's called the Rapids Pro uh, filtration system, the Tom's Rapid Pro. You see here everything is neatly organized. It's a nice little box. The protein skimmer is nicely connected in there. Everything is organized, and the three-stage filtration systems in the front there. You know, so it was exactly what I was looking for. The water quality has definitely improved ever since I added it about a year ago. I do water changes every 6 months. Sometimes I go even longer than that. It's been great. Can't complain about the system. I've seen people do bad reviews that they think it's too expensive, but you got to remember, you go out and you buy a Tunzi protein skimmer, that's about 150 bucks. Sometimes if you go with the even nicer ones, they're even more money than that. And then you go for just a separate, a separate three-stage system, filtration system, and you're looking at another 120 bucks for a good one. So either way, people were complaining about the price, but you're paying about the same thing. All they're doing is combining and making it neat and organized. It also, I really like the cover that it has. It really prevents a lot of evaporation, and that was one of the things I had with my 90-gallon tank. I had a lot of evaporation from the actual sump system happening. So this thing really prevents the water from evaporating. It goes down a little bit, obviously, as any tank does, but really not that bad, not that dramatic. Also, another thing I wanted to add, to the tank itself was more lighting. I wanted to do different types of corals, anemones, um, and one of the things I added was the Galaxy Hydro LED light from Amazon. I don't know if they sell it anywhere else, but the only place I found them for sale was Amazon Prime or Amazon. And I basically cut out a hole here where the original lighting, I gutted the whole hood because I wanted a nice organized system. There's a video online, I think, of me putting this in. I'm not sure now because I can't remember if I actually posted the video or not. But I was gonna put a trimming around here. I just figured, why even waste my time? I mean, it's really not that noticeable. I mean, it's noticeable now that you're looking up here, but when people are looking at the tank, they barely even notice here. But there is like trimming you can buy to, protect here, so it looks a little decent. But it's also a pain in the butt to get it in and out because it's such a tight fitting, and I didn't want to really put anything here to make that worse because I try to clean it every time I do, filters change and stuff like that. Um, I also left. I don't know if you can see in there. There's the plastic from the original hood in there to protect the light from salt. I mean, if you had salt in your saltwater aquarium, you know that it eats anything. I mean, you can start to see the rust here, and this thing doesn't even get touched by salt. But I'm trying to keep it, as protected as I can, and by keeping that, plastic in there, it really helps, and that actually holds this lighting itself. So that's how I did that, and then I also added the Orbit. What is this thing here? The Orbit Marine LED in the front. This is not really like, you really don't need this. I put this here because I like the thunderstorm setting, the night nighttime light setting, you know, the shaded cloudy setting. It really is just for cosmetic look. I mean, it does help increase the lighting of the tank. It does look nicer. And you take this light out from the tip there. It gets a little dark in the front, but this is also the light cranked out like almost like 20% or so. You can crank it up, but you know, this is how I did it, and it just looks a little nicer. You know, the lighting is a little, the LEDs setup is a little different on the front light, so it gives a little nicer look in the front and a different look in the back. Um, this light here is plenty of light for this size tank. I have a friend that I gave my 90 gallons to, and he bought two of these lights. He's been doing really good with these lights. You know, he grows corals and stuff too as well. But he has two of them, obviously. I only need one. I never crank this thing higher than 50%. Anything over 50%, the corals start shriveling up. I think it's just too much lighting for this small of a system. Another thing I added, and this was just recently, that has helped me with the algae growth. If you see here, I don't know if you can really tell, right over the mushroom there's some red algae. I had this thing everywhere. I mean, all over this rock here. It was all over this rock here on the top, and also on the back. The green emerald crab started helping me out with some of it, but what really got it out was the phosphate reactor that I added. I just added this about 6 to 7 days ago. I custom made it to fit inside the system. I drilled holes to the top, and I stuck the pump inside there, and that way it'll stay organized, and it's been doing great. I mean, for those people that say phosphate reactors don't do anything, they're full of shit. That's the only thing I can say, because I mean, this thing is amazing. I can't believe how it cleaned up the tank. The tank looks so much better now. Um, but we are missing a lot of. I don't know if you guys saw the beginning, but the first video I ever posted, I had different corals, different stuff. There's definitely some of them missing here, but that's because I moved them upstairs to the 10-gallon aquarium where it only has corals only, and I'm thinking about maybe moving my snowflake clown up there and also the Picasso clown, but I'm not sure yet. But that's all the customizations I've done to the tank. Um, as far as lighting, filtration system, uh, I also, I don't know if I mentioned, but I had to cut a hole there for the filtration system, just so the water would drain back faster, so you wouldn't get like the level wouldn't rise too high. And that's about it. I mean, the tank looks great, works great. Haven't had any issues. I haven't lost fish, and oh man, I can't even tell you how long. About maybe over 6 months. It has to be over 6 months. Haven't lost any corals. The last time I lost corals was due to the summer. It got hot. That's the next thing I'm gonna be adding is a one of those cooling systems to keep the tank at ideal temperatures. I had the temperature hit too high and ended up killing some of my coral, which I wasn't too happy about. But that'll be the next customization to add to this tank. Maybe I'm thinking about adding it straight into the sump system there. See if I can figure out something. But I'll keep you guys posted. Subscribe, like for more videos and more customizations to the 29-gallon BioCube.